Okay, so today we're going to focus on being problem solvers and using strategies that we talked about yesterday to problem solve. If we are struggling with a word in our reading, then we can use some of these strategies to find out words that we don't understand. Okay, so yesterday we learned ways in which readers figure out tricky words they can't pronounce. Does everyone remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So sometimes when we read, we might already know how to say a tricky word, but we don't necessarily know the meaning of the word, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like you might recognize a word like, oh, I've seen that word before, but not really know what it means. So we're going to focus on that today. Strong readers are curious about words. They try their best to understand what words mean as they read. One of the jobs of a reader is to learn new words and what they mean. Today, we're going to focus on how strong readers use strategies to problem solve words that they don't understand. So, can I see your class chart, Jill? Oh, when I get to a when I get to a tricky word.
It's in the binder.
Okay. So remember this chart we made yesterday? We came up with a lot of different strategies that we can use when we come across a tricky word, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So today we're going to strictly focus on number 2. Read the whole sentence. Think about what makes sense. So this is a new way that we're going to problem solve and finding out words that we don't know. So I'm going to read a section from Stone Fox like we did from the same section we read earlier today. And I'm going to stop at some words that might be tricky for me and see if we can figure it out by reading the whole sentence and thinking about what makes sense. So let's look at Chapter 9. Okay. Swish, little Willie's sled flew by the schoolhouse on the outskirts of town. Outskirts. I know I've seen that word before, but I'm not really sure what it means. What should we do if we don't know what the word means? Any ideas?
Keep reading. Finish the sentence so you can get a picture in your mind of what's going on.
Okay, let's try
finish that sentence.
Okay. Outskirts of town, and then by the old deserted barn. So let's reread the sentence again. Little Willie's sled flew by the schoolhouse on the outskirts of town, and then by the old deserted barn. So what could we say that outskirts means by reading the rest of the sentence?
Edge.
Okay. Why would you think that it means edge?
Because when I put in the word edge instead of outskirts, the sentence still makes sense.
Okay, good. You're right. The outskirts is like the edge of town. Okay, so let's keep reading. Okay. But little Willie still had a good lead. In fact, it was not until the last 2 miles of the race that Stone Fox got his first glimpse of little Willie. Glimpse. I know I've seen that word before, but I'm not really sure what it means, so let's keep reading on and see if we can figure it out. Got his first glimpse of little Willie since the race had begun. So they're talking about little Willie being in the lead and then Stone Fox coming up behind and kind of gaining up on him, right? So maybe glimpse. Stone Fox got his first glimpse. Maybe like glimpse is like a look or like his first like sight or something like that. So maybe we can just fill in that word instead. So does it make sense when we say Stone Fox got his first sight of little Willie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think we got a good definition for that word too. Okay, so now I want you to get into groups, and I'm going to give you a copy of this book and give you a page and 2 words on different pages that are kind of tricky that you probably already know the word and how to pronounce it, but maybe not know the meaning of it, okay? So if you can all get into your groups. Okay. Okay, so your word is it's this word right here on page 74. And see if you can figure it out.
Which word is it? There.
Oh.
But Stone Fox kept gaining. Well, let's read a little farther back. This made Little Willie mad at himself. Why hadn't he looked back more often? What was he doing? He hadn't won yet. Well, no time to think of that now. He had a race to win. Go, Searchlight, go, go. But Stone Fox kept gaining. Silently, steadily. Go, Searchlight, go. So this is our word steadily. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it, but I don't really know what that means. He's gaining, so he's catching up. Silently, steadily. And Little Willie's like getting kind of nervous, so maybe Stone Fox is catching up like quickly. Like he's coming up out of nowhere and he's just coming really quickly.
But he said he kept gaining, so maybe like steadily means that he's like continuing to
Get closer and closer. Okay. I think that makes sense.
Okay, so did each group come up with a definition for their word? Okay, Bree, what was your word that your group had?
We had steadily.
Okay, and what was the definition that you came up for your word?
We said kind of like, we said like continually or quickly.
Okay, and why did you say that?
Because in the sentence they talked about how Stone Fox kept gaining on him, so he was like continuing to like go faster and like catch up with Willie.
Okay, yeah, you guys are right. Good job, good problem solving. Okay, so today we've learned another way to problem solve a tricky word. Remember that strong readers try their best to problem solve the meaning of a tricky word. Strong readers use the whole sentence and think about the meaning and substitute a familiar word like we did to a word that they don't understand. Then they try to remember what the tricky word means so they will know it the next time that they see it. So do you think the next time that you see the word steadily in maybe your independent reading books, you would know what it means?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. This is how strong readers build up their vocabulary. Today and every day that you read, take time to figure out the meaning of tricky words. Remember, before you begin reading, to record your start page on your daily reading logs. So now I want you guys to use your independent reading books, and I'm going to come around and see if there's some words that are familiar to you, but you may not know the meaning, and see if you can figure out the meaning, okay? Jill, did you find a word that's kind of tricky for you?
Yeah, this word. No, actually, this word.
Okay.
I know what that is. We just got created a few times.
Oh, wow.
So this said, the Indian looked at Little Willie. His face was solid granite, but his eyes were alive and cunning. I didn't really know what cunning meant, but it was easier to pronounce because it's an easy word.
Yeah.
But when I read it, I thought of like really intense eyes. They were like looking right at Willie.
Mm-hmm.
So his eyes were alive and like interesting and intense kind of way.
Yeah, okay. And that makes sense if you like replace one of those words into the sentence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. All right, we'll keep on reading. Bree, what about you? Did you find a word that's tricky for you?
I did. I found this word, which I sounded out to be protocol,
Mm-hmm.
which I've heard before, but I didn't really know what it meant.
Yeah.
But when I read the sentence, it said, read oral reading miscues and responses to questions on a teacher copy referred to as a protocol. And then I continued and said the protocol also contains questions asked a student. List the protocol on a clipboard for ease and handling. And I still had a hard time kind of figuring out what it meant because the sentences didn't really describe like what the definition was.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't get a whole lot out of it.
Okay, well, if that strategy doesn't work for you, then remember yesterday we came up with a whole bunch of other strategies that we can use to find the meaning of tricky words in our readings. So maybe you could ask someone else in the class. Maybe they would know it.
Actually, I asked Jill and she told me what the definition was.
She did. What did she say?
Protocol is like something you do just to be like on the safe side, like something that you do that like you're supposed to do.
Okay, good. All right. Well, I'm glad you were able to use one of our other strategies. Okay. So now I want you to turn and talk to your partner and share what word was tricky for you and how you solved your problem.
Well, Jill, you helped me find mine, so I think you know what mine was.
I'm trying to write it down. I'm gonna use this word right now. So grandfather kept his money in a strong box under the board. That's an easy word because I know the word strong and the word box. And I think that when I read the sentence, it would make sense if it was like a safe, like my mom has a safe in the closet that we keep like jewelry and stuff in. And that's where you would keep money if you wanted to keep it safe. So I think a strong box is kind of like a safe.
And plus, if you think about it, like it's a box that's super strong, and that's kind of the same idea as a safe. So
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just a strong box.
Super strong.
Super strong.
It's been lifted.
Okay, so is everyone done sharing? Okay, so did everyone learn a new strategy for figuring out tricky words today? Okay, do you think that would be able to help you in your future reading? And you'd be able to use this strategy outside of school? Okay, good. So now we have this strategy of problem solving words that we don't understand. Awesome. Yep, all done.
Looks like somebody